Do you not see how great Umar was? How a true man he was? Ibn Masud radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he states in authentic hadith in Tirmidhi, he says, مَا زِلْنَا أَعِزَّةً. We have never ceased to be honored. We have never ceased to be powerful since the Islam of Umar. We have never ceased to be powerful since the Islam of Umar. And it is for this reason why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, please me, make Islam stronger by the Islam of either one of these two people. And he mentioned Umar and he mentioned Abu Jahl. My brothers and sisters in Islam, describe Umar to me. Describe Umar to me. How was Umar? He was a tall man. The companions say that he was a tall man until when if he would walk between the people, you could see him because he was so tall. And he was bald. Not completely bald, but very bald. He was tall, he was bald, and was he fat? Was he fat? No, he wasn't fat. He was very, very, very thin. Very, very, very thin. He didn't have any six packs. He didn't bodybuild. He wasn't a Mr. Universe, but he was a true man. Because true men are not described by these criteria. These are not the criteria to describe who true men are, brothers and sisters in Islam. These things which we have set up for ourselves, by saying the people who are more stronger, by saying people who are more beautiful. If you can enter yourself in the 10 most sexiest people, as they say, then you are truly a man. As the women say, oh, what a man. And the legs go weak thinking about this man. This is what people think is a man. But Umar was none of this. The women would run away when Umar would come. They wouldn't say, oh, what a man. They would run away. Isn't that true? Subhanallah, they would run away. And the shaitan would run away. The Imam al-Mufsideen, the Imam of the fitna causes, shaitan himself would run away and take a different path. Such was Umar, a true man. A true man. And don't you remember how Umar, when he had accepted Islam, what did he do? He had a shower. Then he prayed. Then he went to the Kaaba and he made tawaf. And he said, if there is anyone amongst you, he said in a narration reported by Ibn al-Athir in his book, he mentioned that Umar said, if there is anyone amongst you, if there is anyone amongst you who wants to make his mother cry, who wants to orphan his child, who wants to widow his wife, then let him follow me behind this valley. Follow me if you would, if you dare. This is Umar. My brothers and sisters in Islam, Umar was not strong. He wasn't a superhuman. But what he had is strength of character and strength of iman. And this is true manhood. This is true rujula. This is the rujula that is missing in our ummah. MashaAllah, we have 1 billion people. 500 million men. Where are the true men amongst them? Where are the true men amongst them? Show me, please. I want to see them. Because looking at them is ibadah. Speaking to them is ibadah. Being in their presence is ibadah to Allah. Because truly this religion has not been sent except upon the shoulders of men like Umar and his example. Brothers and sisters in Islam, when Khalid bin Walid, when he was conquering Hira, and this was a town of Hira, when he was conquering Hira, and he had circled it and surrounded it. And Hira was one of the most fortified towns ever known at that time. He sent to Abu Bakr at that time, he sent a messenger to Abu Bakr and said, oh Abu Bakr, I need help. He said, I need reinforcements. Guess what Abu Bakr did? Guess what Abu Bakr did? This wise man, he sent only one person. He said one person, and this man, his name was Qaqa ibn Amr at-Tamimi. And there is difference amongst the ulama whether Qaqa was a companion or not. Allah knows best. The most correct opinion is he was not a companion, he was a tabi'i. Allah knows best. As Al-Baghawi mentions in Asad al-Ghaba. Anyhow, in Al-Isaba. We continue. Qaqa ibn Amr at-Tamimi was the only person that Abu Bakr sent to this army. If, my brothers and sisters in Islam, if the greatest general on this earth was sending a risala, a message to his commander-in-chief and saying, I need help, and the only help they sent was one man, what would you say? This guy's lost it. What are you doing? This is madness. You can't win a war with one man. But Abu Bakr said, Naam, I am sending you the equivalent of 1,000 men. He wrote in the message. And he said, the very voice of Qa'qa ibn Amr al-Tamimi, the very sawt, his very voice is better than 1,000 men. And another time, when Amr ibn al-As, when he was conquering Egypt, at the time of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, Umar, I need madad, I need help. And so Umar wrote back to him, I am sending you 4,000 men. How many did he send? He sent 4. He sent Miqdad, and he sent Maslama, and he sent Az-Zubayr, and he sent Ubaidah ibn Samit. These are the 4 men only that he sent. And he wrote in the letter, I am sending you the equivalent of 4,000 men. My brothers and sisters, we're not talking about war, no. This is not what I'm talking about. I am talking about manhood. I'm talking about how can a single man be worth 1,000 men? How is this ever possible? How can a single man, and you're all men here, if none of you are feeling something in your heart, some shame in your heart, or some anger in your heart, then truly there's something wrong. Go to the doctor tomorrow. Let him check you out. Have an ECG. Make sure it's working well. Brothers and sisters in Islam. Brothers and sisters in Islam. True manhood is truly as scarce as the salt in the food. Do you see how the salt in the food is so little? In the same way are true men, so very few. And that is why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in an authentic hadith in Bukhari, he said, true men are as scarce as the riding camel amongst the hundreds of camels. As you know, the Arabs have camels, and not all of them are suitable for riding. Most of them are suitable for milk and for meat, but only some of them are suitable for riding because most of them are too angry. And so Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gave the example that true men are as scarce to find just as the riding beast amongst the hundreds of camels in the ocean of camels there. My brothers and sisters in Islam, not only in the time of the companions, but in the time thereafter, we find beautiful examples of manhood. Beautiful examples of manhood. In fact, are there brothers over here from Yugoslavia? Are there brothers from Bosnia? Anyone here? Probably, perhaps you're too shy to say. But do you know that you owe your Islam after Allah and after Rasulullah ﷺ to Tariq bin Ziyad? This hero of Islam known as Tariq bin Ziyad, do you know his story? Let me tell you his story. Tariq bin Ziyad was a great general of Islam. And he landed on the shores of Europe with 12,000 men. And King Roderick, who was the king of Spain at that time, he met Tariq bin Ziyad with 100,000 Visigoth Christians. How much army did Tariq bin Ziyad have? 12,000. Do you know what Tariq bin Ziyad did when he saw the 100,000 lined up in front of him, the 100,000 enemy? He said, you Muslims, burn the boats. He said, burn the boats. And so all the boats were burnt. In front of their eyes, the boats were burnt. Naam. In front of their eyes, the boats were burnt. And so he told the people, so all people, there is either death by drowning, or death by fighting, or victory in front of us. Make your choice. Make your choice. Look at the manhood. I am amazed at this. Isn't it amazing? 12,000 against 100,000 people? That is truly amazing. Truly amazing. What about, and then what happened? Tariq bin Ziyad, alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, he defeated them. Took over Spain, took over most of France, took over a lot of Sicily, and spread and went deep into Europe until he took over all those areas that we now call Yugoslavia, Macedonia and others, where there are so many ample Muslims nowadays. because of this batal, because of this hero and his heroism, and truly understanding that we men have a lot of energy, we men have a lot of potential. Our potential is limitless. Our potential is only limited by our minds. Our potential is only limited by our weak iman. Our potential is only limited by our weak goals. Our potential is only limited by our lack of understanding of the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us, by a lack of understanding of the ability that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. Without doubt, brothers and sisters, we can also achieve this. We can also be true men. Nowadays, brothers, when they want to prove their manhood, what do? Slap their women. They hit their women. We hear of wife bashing so much, and they think that this is a sign of manhood. They think that having more muscles and more bumps on your body is a sign of manhood. They think that having more car, or having more, having a nice car and driving around the road fast and having a nice suit and better perfume is a sign of manhood. Rather, it is not a sign of manhood, brothers and sisters in Islam. This is not the sign of manhood. This is not manhood, brothers and sisters in Islam. People think that age is a sign of manhood. They think that when you get older, you become a true man. This is not the sign of manhood. And once, as also been reported by Bukhari in a mu'allaq form, as has been reported that Abdullah ibn Zubair, who was a small boy at the time of Umar. At the time of Umar, in his lifetime, Abdullah ibn Zubair was a small young boy. He was playing with some little boys, and Umar came amongst them. And so the other boys got afraid and they ran away. As you know, people will get afraid when they see Umar. And so the other little boys ran away, whereas Abdullah ibn Zubair stayed in his spot. And he stayed in his spot. The smart aleck, he stayed in his spot. And so Umar went up to him and said, "Hey, why didn't you run away? Why didn't you run away?" And he goes, "Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, I never did nothing wrong. What did I do? I didn't do anything wrong. And the road is big enough for you and me. Just pass on." SubhanAllah, look at the manhood that even little children had. And this is why Abdullah ibn Zubair became the Khalifa. And he became the Khalifa after the death of Yazid for how many years, brothers? For 9 years. A righteous companion becoming the Khalifa after Yazid ibn Muawiyah for 9 years. This was Abdullah ibn Zubair, who was later killed by Hajjaj and others. That is a different story. But SubhanAllah, brothers and sisters in Islam, look at the manhood that these companions had.